In 2016, an anthrax outbreak in Siberia led to the deaths of thousands of animals, including reindeer and at least one human. It also led to the hospitalization of nearly 100 people. This outbreak was attributed to the melting permafrost that caused the thawing of a reindeer carcass. The dead reindeer had been infected with anthrax decades earlier. Driven by global warming, the permafrost melted, releasing dormant anthrax spores from the reindeer carcass into the Siberian environment. These spores then infected other reindeer, leading to a large outbreak among animals and spreading to humans who were in contact with the infected animals or contaminated soil from the Siberian region. Anthrax is a highly virulent disease caused by the bacterium Bacillus anthracis. The bacterium is known to release toxins that are deadly to both animals and humans. In today's episode, SciTech Vault will shed light on the hidden dangers that lie dormant in the Arctic, Antarctic, and high-altitude permafrost. Make sure you check out the links in the description below. Permafrost soils represent some of the largest carbon reservoirs on Earth. While permafrost is defined as soil that has remained frozen for at least 2 consecutive years, many of these formations are significantly older, originating from previous glaciation periods. Permafrost harbors various bacteria and viruses that have been frozen for long periods. If these pathogens were to thaw and become active, they could potentially pose serious health risks to humans, animals, and plants. While watching this video, you may or may not realize that permafrost is melting at an alarming rate. In 2004, a French and Russian team discovered several archaeological sites in northeastern Siberia. These sites featured frozen wooden graves buried in permafrost, dating from the late 17th to early 18th century. One of the graves contained 5 frozen mummies. This discovery was quite unusual because, at that time, the common practice was to bury people individually. Analysis also indicated that the bodies were buried shortly after death. Further in-depth analysis revealed the presence of the variola virus, the same virus that causes smallpox, in one of the frozen mummies. The associated results were published in the New England Journal of Medicine in 2012. The Spanish influenza pandemic of 1918 stands as one of the deadliest infectious pandemics in history, claiming the lives of over 20 million people in just 2 years. In a groundbreaking discovery, scientists revealed the complete sequence of the hemagglutinin gene of the 1918 virus. This monumental achievement was made possible by extracting influenza RNA from a formalin-fixed, paraffin-embedded lung tissue sample taken during the autopsy of a 1918 pandemic victim. Further samples were obtained from the lungs of 2 more victims, one from formalin-fixed, paraffin-embedded tissue, and another from the frozen lung of a body preserved in permafrost since 1918. These haunting remnants of the past have unlocked secrets buried for over a century. Deadly viruses and bacteria can indeed lie dormant in frozen bodies and pose a renewed threat if the permafrost melts, potentially bringing ancient killers back to life.
Several studies have reported the presence of antibiotic resistance genes in permafrost bacteria, which could make known pathogens more dangerous. While antibiotic resistance is often seen as a modern issue, targeted metagenomic analysis of 30,000-year-old Alaskan permafrost revealed resistance to beta-lactam, tetracycline, and glycopeptide antibiotics, long before these medicines were ever used. This suggests that permafrost can act as a hidden reservoir of antibiotic resistance genes, posing potential threats to human health.
A recent study discovered nearly 1,700 viruses dating back 41,000 years in a sample from a Tibetan glacier. However, the exact number of viruses trapped in permafrost remains unknown. When thawed, these sleeping or zombie viruses could potentially awaken and infect hosts. So far, the giant viruses discovered in permafrost have not been found to pose a threat to humans or animals. However, this does not rule out the possibility that melting permafrost could release other viruses and bacteria that are highly pathogenic to humans, animals, or plants, presenting a serious and unpredictable danger as global temperatures rise. In summary, multiple studies suggest that many microorganisms and viruses in permafrost remain unknown and uncharacterized. In other words, we do not fully understand how dangerous they might be. Consequently, they could pose risks to humans, animals, and plants in the near or distant future. As climate change causes permafrost to thaw and alters landscapes and vegetation, these risks might increase, particularly as more people come into contact with freshly melted permafrost.
What are you doing to mitigate these risks? Are you reducing your individual carbon footprint? Do you use public transportation or plant trees during your spare time? Do let us know in the comments section below. Subscribe for more such videos.